Thank you for joining me. This is your business coach, Jason, and in this section, we'll be talking about your business structure. Following the company description in your business plan is the business structure section. In this section, you need to show your potential investors or the banks that you're organized and you're ready to do business. If they don't see it, then they're not going to invest. This section includes your company's organizational structure, the details about the ownership of your company, the descriptions of your management team, and the qualifications of your panel of experts or your board of directors. So first off, let's talk about the 4 different types of legal structures that there are for businesses. There's a sole proprietorship, there's a general partnership, there's an LLC or a limited liability company, and there's the corporation. So each one of these is going to have its advantages and its disadvantages, and choosing the right one requires kind of balancing those advantages and disadvantages, choosing what works for what you're trying to accomplish. So have your end goal in mind as you're thinking about it. Remember that a lot of these structures can transfer into another type of structure. The first one we have is our sole proprietorship. It's the simplest structure from which you can operate. Sole proprietorship isn't a legal entity. It simply refers to a person who owns the business and is personally responsible for its debt. So sole proprietorship can operate under the name of the owner, or it can do business under a business name. So that would be DBA, or doing business as, and you're legally doing business as that company. But it's still you, even though the name might sound like a business. So it doesn't give you any legal protections. The sole proprietorship is very popular because it's simple, easy to set up, and it doesn't cost you a lot. You need to just register your name and secure any of the local licenses that may be required, and you're ready for business. A disadvantage, however, is that you remain personally liable for all the business's debts. So if you run into financial trouble, creditors can bring lawsuits against you. And if the suits are successful, then you'll have to pay the business debts out of your own money. There's no business structure to protect you. As a sole proprietorship, you typically sign your contracts with your own name because a sole proprietorship is you according to the law. You'll typically have customers write the checks in your name, even if you're using a DBA. Sole proprietors can bring lawsuits and they can be sued using the name of you. And many businesses do begin their sole proprietorships. They'll move on to more complex business structures as a business develops. Some advantages of being a sole proprietor. First, owners can establish it very quickly, very easily. You can almost instantly be a business owner. Sole proprietorships also carry very little of the formalities and the forms that you have to fill out as a bigger company, as a corporation. Sole proprietorship, you don't have to pay unemployment tax if it's just yourself, though if you do have employees, you'll have to pay unemployment tax for them. And then also you can mix your business and your personal finances freely, but I don't recommend that for any of my clients. Keep your business and your personal assets separate. Set up a separate bank account, even if it's set as a personal account. Keep one for business and one for your personal. That way you can kind of track where your money's going. It's easier to manage your business in the long run. Some disadvantages of being a sole proprietorship. The biggest one would be that you're subject to unlimited personal liability for debts, losses, and the liabilities of the business. So if you get sued, you can lose everything from your personal because of the business. Second, the owners, you can't raise capital by selling a part of the business. So it's a sole proprietorship. You can't sell parts of your business to other people. And then sole proprietors rarely survive the death or severe injury of their owners, so they can't retain value. There's nothing to really pass on to the next generation other than the physical assets that you'd leave them in a will. The next structure is a partnership. It's a structure that's created automatically when 2 or more people engage in business for profit. So here's the language from the Uniform Partnership Act that formed what partnerships are. The association of 2 or more persons to carry on as co-owners of a business for profits forms a partnership, whether or not the persons intended to form a partnership. So you see how easy it is. Even if you didn't intend to do it, you can end up in a partnership. Offers multiple owners flexibility and simplicity for the business, Limited partnerships and in limited liability partnerships, a partnership can even offer a degree of liability protection. But in a standard partnership, you're going to have the same problem that you have with a sole proprietorship, that you have unlimited liability to your personal finances. So partnerships can be formed with a verbal agreement. Smart partners, however, will seek to have their partnership defined in a partnership agreement, preferably with the assistance of an attorney. Because partnerships can be formed so easily, partnerships are often formed accidentally through oral agreements. A partnership is formed, like I said, whenever two people engage jointly in a business activity in the pursuit of profit. So don't operate a partnership without a partnership agreement. Because of the informality and how easy these are to form, partnerships is the most likely business end up in disputes and lawsuits between owners. So, and oral partnerships are usually the reason. Some of the advantages of a partnership: first, owners can start it relatively easy and inexpensive. They also don't require annual meetings, and there's very few of the forms that you have to fill out. Partnerships offer favorable taxation in most situations. You want to consult your tax advisor on that. Partnerships often don't have to pay any of the minimum taxes that are required of like the LLCs and the corporations. Some disadvantages: all owners are subject to unlimited personal liability, like I was saying. So all of your personal property can go away because of a business debt. So individual partners can also bear the action for the other partners. So if your partner goes into debt for the business, you are still reliable for part of that debt. And then poorly organized partnerships or oral partnerships can lead to disputes among owners. So as I said, get the partnership agreement.